Runaway.
Cześć, witam Was w kolejnym odcinku serii Zagrajmy w Runaway 2 Sen Żółwia. Poprzedni odcinek skończyliśmy sobie właśnie w tym miejscu i to, co teraz nas czeka, to rozmowa z pułkownikiem, tak więc nie zwlekajmy już dłużej i przejdźmy do rzeczy.
Actually, I didn't even want to come here. It was this girlfriend of mine.
Well. It turns out the smart Alex civilian is just a boy in love. Son, if you were a soldier, no woman would be playing around with you. Why don't you enlist?
I w tym miejscu pojawia nam się dość obszerny wybór opcji dialogowych, natomiast jest to wybór wyłącznie pozorny, ponieważ tak czy inaczej będziemy musieli wykorzystać wszystkie z tych opcji dialogowych. Do nas należy w zasadzie tylko decyzja odnośnie tego, w jakiej kolejności wykorzystamy te opcje dialogowe i w zależności od naszego wyboru rozmowa będzie miała większy bądź mniejszy sens. Zresztą postaram się Wam to pokazać jednorazowo i nie będę już więcej do tego wracać, tak więc na początek może zdecydujmy się na tę drugą opcję dialogową.
It sounds truly exciting, but I don't want to have to kill anyone.
So you're that kind of folks. You say that because you never tried. But once you acquire a taste for it, you'd kill to try again.
I proszę, tutaj powiedzieliśmy, że nie chcemy zabijać, pułkownik to skomentował, natomiast cofnęło nas do poprzednich opcji dialogowych i tak czy inaczej musimy je wykorzystać. Tak więc teraz wybiorę sobie trzecią opcję.
I don't know. I've never held a weapon.
Hey, where'd you go to grammar school, boy? Didn't you get an education?
I tutaj powiedzieliśmy, że nigdy nie trzymaliśmy broni w ręku, natomiast dostaliśmy jakiś bezsensowny komentarz dotyczący naszego wykształcenia. No, są to takie rozmowy troszeczkę mało wnoszące do tematu, natomiast no trudno, musimy wykorzystać wszystkie opcje, tak więc teraz zdecydujmy się na pierwszą opcję.
I can't picture myself in a uniform. Green doesn't go with my skin tone, and helmets give me a headache.
So this is what goddamn civil society has made us sink to? You keep in mind, boy, that I only tolerate three kinds of civilians. Women, kids, and the crippled. The rest of y'all should be under military command, killing for your homeland and dying in combat. But those dang politicians and scientists back in D.C. are all fooled with their welfare state, human rights, and atomic weaponry systems. They're trying to do away with the real army and values that make men men.
Akurat pobyt w koszarach by Brianowi dobrze zrobił, tak moim zdaniem. Natomiast wracając do dialogu, to zwróćcie uwagę, że zostały nam już dwie opcje dialogowe. Jedna, której nie chciałabym używać, czyli mam się zaciągnąć, czy wyglądam na głupka, a druga jest usprawiedliwieniem tej pierwszej, więc gdybyśmy użyli ich w odwrotnej kolejności, to ta rozmowa byłaby całkowicie pozbawiona sensu. Niemniej jednak ja tutaj już się nie będę więcej wcinać w dialogi, będę wykorzystywać we wszystkich dialogach opcje tak jak lecą, po kolei, od góry do dołu. Nie ma tutaj co w tym szukać żadnego sensu logicznego, ponieważ w tych dialogach go absolutnie nie ma. Tak więc cóż, trzeba się z tym pogodzić.
Enlist? Me? Do I look like a fool?
What kind of sissy are you, boy? When the winds of change blow through, and they will, you're gonna have to fight. Then I'd like to see what you use your pretty face for. I told you, I won't tolerate the third degree. So answer me or suffer the consequences.
Man, that's not what I meant. I must have wigged out.
Oh, yeah? What do you mean, then?
I had no idea this island belonged to you. It must have cost you a small fortune.
I say it's mine because I'm in charge here. Didn't anyone tell you martial law has been imposed on Mala Island?
Why are we under martial law?
Because that way I'm not obliged to answer questions from imbecile civilians like yourself. And even less so when they're about unauthorized topics.
No way. I didn't know we were at war.
Well, we aren't, unfortunately. You know how much I miss the old days back in Nam.
You must be the only person alive who misses a lost war.
I should have kicked the bucket in that war, you know. They riddled me with bullets, so I knelt down and raised my arms for a more photogenic demise.
I w tym miejscu zrobimy sobie cięcie, ponieważ pojawia się trzecia ciekawostka w tej grze. Dotyczy to opisu śmierci prezentowanej przez pułkownika. Jest to żywcem wyjęte z filmu Pluton. Dotyczy to śmierci sierżanta Eliasa. I tutaj macie adnotację, w którą możecie kliknąć. Ona przeniesie Was w nowym oknie do fragmentu filmu, który opisuje pułkownik. Tak więc jeżeli jesteście zainteresowani, to klikajcie, a my tymczasem wracamy do dalszej rozgrywki.
And then some bird brain came along, threw me on his back and saved me.
I tutaj musimy od razu zrobić sobie kolejne cięcie, ponieważ pojawia się czwarta ciekawostka. Pojawiają się one akurat jedna po drugiej. W poprzedniej ciekawostce pułkownik przytoczył nam fragment opisu z filmu Pluton, natomiast teraz pojawia się opis, który dotyczy filmu Forrest Gump. Również tą scenę macie w adnotacji. Kliknijcie, to się otworzy w nowym oknie. Jeżeli jesteście zainteresowani, to zapraszam. Natomiast teraz już wracamy do rozgrywki.
Here I am, on a two-bit island with no way to die heroically.
There have been others since Vietnam. You must have been in some later conflict.
All of them. Even a few you ain't never heard of. Like that time the Reds put fluoride in the water supply to poison our minds. But none was as fun as Nam.
Quit complaining. You're on a paradise island now.
Don't overestimate the fun here. There ain't no enemy battalions at the beach, shrapnel with breakfast, or flocks of vultures hovering over the trenches. Now that would be paradise.
I see you're a man of action.
Like any man with a sense of self-worth, civilian, like the men of yesteryear, those soldiers who killed at gunpoint. They didn't depend on them bureaucrats and their nuclear arms. But the old days are making a comeback. You'll see, soon.
Getting back to what I was saying, I can tell you're dying to explain why martial law has been declared.
The reason has to do with a big, fat military secret. I wouldn't divulge it to a civilian, even if I was authorized. And definitely not to the likes of you.
I couldn't care less about the martial law, but I'll tell you why I'm on Mala Island.
I knew I could get you to sing in the end. Come on, fess up.
A girlfriend of mine fell into the lake, and I think you guys rescued her.
Negative, civilian. My men monitor every centimeter of Mala Island, and they ain't seen none of that. You sure that happened on this patch of land?
Yeah, if you haven't seen her, it's because you're all half blind. Sorry.
Are you mocking me, civvy boy? Just remember, if I get a hold of your girl, I can give her a real hard time.
In fact, I think she's being held here against her will.
You don't say. There may be another possibility. She might be hiding from you.
Well, she didn't exactly fall. I threw her out in mid-flight.
Something was telling me you're not all bad, boy, and I was right. Turns out you're my kind of man. So, did you enjoy that experience?
It's not what you think. I pushed her out to save her.
No reason to apologize. You done nothing wrong.
I bet you would have killed her. You look like a despicable slayer of helpless women.
Come on, boy. There's no reason to start kissing up to me at this point. And I don't know what you mean by helpless. You look the other way and they start weaving a web, like a tarantula. Ha! That was pretty funny, like red tarantulas.
I felt awful as I watched my girlfriend fall through the sky.
Don't worry about that. You'll get over it. The first time always hurts. Then you get used to it. You even start to yearn for it. I'd do it all day long if I could.
Did I say I pushed her? I keep saying the silliest things lately.
You've got me more turned round than a dog chasing his tail. Let's see. Now, what did you mean?
I mean, that's not what I meant. It's that I'm not obliged to answer that question. I'll only respond in the presence of my attorney.
So that's your game, huh? Well, move your butt out of my tent, boy, and keep it still until the evacuation takes place.
If only you could offer me a nice plush mattress to park it on with my girl.
Don't you get smart with me, boy. In a few hours, you and all the other civilians left on Mala will be shipped out. The boat's on its way. It's a matter of hours. Flower pot?
Colonel, sir!
Escort the civilian to the door. And if he makes any funny moves, kill him. That guy rubs me the wrong way. I don't want him turning into a relentless pest. Tarantula.
I don't know why, but I get a sneaky feeling that the Colonel is hiding something. What's more, when I came out, I saw a girl being escorted by a soldier toward Kordsmeyer's tent. For a moment there, I thought it was Gina, and I almost bumped into her. She was blonde and wearing a very tight red leather outfit, but what in the world could that insane Colonel be up to? It's clearer and clearer to me that Gina's being held somewhere inside the camp. but they're watching every step I take, so it's impossible to get a good look around. I'll have to find some other way to get in, no matter how hard I have to try. But it won't do me any good to rescue Gina if we have no way out afterward. With all travel by sea and air cut off, those military types would find us in no time. It's obvious. I'll have to cook up a plan to sneak into the camp and find a way to escape from the island. However, with the little help I have, that's gonna be one tall order. My only support is a plastered primate, who I'm gradually becoming fond of, I must say. And now that he woke up, his little eyes look so sad. They remind me of a little basset hound puppy I once had in New York. I'll name the little lemur after him. Little Demon.
Dobra, udało nam się opuścić w końcu bazę wojskową. Mamy też pijanego lemura na pokładzie, natomiast to jest ten moment, w którym będziemy musieli troszeczkę się rozejrzeć po okolicy, troszeczkę zacząć eksplorować lokacje, które się tutaj znajdują. Dlatego w tym celu na początek udamy się w prawą stronę ekranu.
Looks like it leads to a crossroad. I'll go see what I find. I can't take one more step. I feel like someone poured a pot of boiling soup into my shoes and I'm cooking noodles between my toes. But it was worth it. Finally, some contact with civilization. There's another soldier with a car. I hope this one doesn't give me any flack. Let's see what the area has to offer.
No i proszę, po wielu trudach trafiliśmy do jakiegoś miasteczka plażowego, być może jest to nawet jakiś kompleks turystyczny, ciężko powiedzieć. Natomiast jest tutaj kolorowo i wesoło, jednak jest to ten moment, kiedy musimy poznać nowe lokacje, troszeczkę pozwiedzać, być może porozmawiać z nowymi postaciami, tak więc udajmy się do centrum tego miejsca.
Eureka! A bar! With a waitress and everything. Today's your lucky day. Let's go chatter up.
Tak, oczywiście pierwsze co wypatrzył Brian to naturalnie bar, tak więc tutaj chcąc nie chcąc musimy się udać w pierwszym kierunku. Jak już Wam powiedziałam, gra jest dość liniowa i tutaj po prostu nas poprowadzi do miejsca, od którego powinniśmy zacząć. Tak więc cóż, no na początek obejrzymy sobie bar, zobaczmy cóż tam się znajduje i kto tam się znajduje.
Hi there.
Aloha! Welcome to Luana Beach. Where did you come from?
Well, if you mean my place of birth, I come from New York. I got to Mala Island just this morning and...
You don't fool me. I haven't seen any boats or planes arrive in the last 3 days.
The thing is, I landed on the other side of the island, in a biplane that looks worse than a World War II relic.
Did you fly in with Otto?
No way! You guys know each other?
Yeah, we're old pals, and I adore his cool plane. I met my ex-boyfriend Charlie in it. Where is old Otto, by the way?
I think he went to Kauai. Yeah, he left full speed ahead to deliver a shipment of Capote dogs.
Oh, I love those little puppies, and they have such a cute name. Mine is Lokelani, stranger, which means heavenly rose.
Nice to meet you, Lokelani. I'm Brian.
Oh, crap. You have the same name as my moron of an ex-boyfriend.
I thought his name was Charlie.
No, that was a different boyfriend. Brian was this loser I'd prefer to forget about. So, I'll just have to pick a different name for you. Do you like Kaimi? It means he who searches in Hawaiian.
I like the way it sounds. And if you knew me better, you'd realize it suits me to a T.
Oh yeah, and that fluffy love ball of a cockatoo is Aolani, my best friend, and the only male I can trust.
Charmed, Aolani. Lokelani, I wanted to ask you for something.
Oh, sorry. I must be the worst waitress in the Pacific. What can I do for you, Kaimi?
No, I didn't mean that. I just wanted to chat with you.
I don't know whether to believe you. Whenever my ex said some girl had just chatted with him, I knew to expect the worst.
Brian did that?
Oh no, that was Mikhail, a 7-foot-tall Russian. So, surprise me. What should we chat about?
I haven't seen many people around here.
Yeah, the island's population has been reduced to just a few friends of mine. and this guy dressed like a monk who arrived last night. Plus me and the military guys, as you've observed.
Tell me about that guy who looks like a monk.
He must have gotten here last night after I closed up. He hasn't budged all morning and didn't even notice when I went to say hi. Maybe he's deaf, like my ex.
Mikhail?
No, Renee. He was a better man than most. He was deaf as a doorknob, but he could listen so much better than the average male.
Why didn't they evacuate you and your friends?
They let me stay a few days longer. Colonel's orders. I don't know why, though. And my two friends stayed because Knife took Kai for a ride in his motorboat, so the military guys didn't find them till they got back.
Talk to me about your friend Kai.
The poor thing lost his leg to a shark, but he's still the best surfer Mala Island has ever seen. And he comes from a long line of amazing witch doctors. His grandfather, the last kahuna in the family saga, even had his own TV show.
Tell me about Knife.
He goes for the heart-stopping excitement, but he's fickle. Every once in a while, he gets obsessed with a new hobby. Right now, it's surfing, and that's all he thinks about. Lately, the waves around here have been smaller than in a kiddie pool, so he spends the day island hopping in his speedboat in search of killer waves. Oh, and then there's Koala, his son, but you'd better just meet him for yourself.
Where can I find your friends?
They live together at Alawala Cove. If you want to meet them, just follow the highway toward the northeast, and you'll come across their hut. I recommend it as a day trip. It's a lovely spot. Some people think Tiki Temple ruins are prettier, but since they're in the militarized zone, visits are out of the question.
Do you get along with the military guys here on the island?
That first night, they all came here to get sloshed. But then I think the colonel forbid them to return. Now he comes alone.
When did they get here?
About 3 days ago. They evacuated everyone, declared a state of emergency, and set up camp at the Tiki Temple ruins. Rumor has it there was some deadly virus running rampant, but I think the soldiers are being paid off by real estate speculators. They'll end up developing the island into a huge golf course for bored old moneybags, like my ex.
Are you talking about Charlie?
No, I meant Renako, an African millionaire who had petroleum coming out of his diamond-studded ears.
Do you know the man in charge of the troops?
The colonel? Yeah, he looks a lot like my ex, but with half the looks and twice the wrinkles. And he doesn't have that hot criminal look, of course.
Your ex-boyfriend, Brian?
No, Milo, a kid from Central Europe or somewhere around there.
I didn't know you liked older men.
It's not that I have anything for them. The only difference is on the surface, really. Inside, all men are equally childish, no matter what their age. But don't worry, most of us women like children.
After talking with him, it sounds like you got him sailing the Love Boat.
Love boat? Well, he can batten down the hatches and lower his mast, because there's no way I'm riding his love vessel. Plus, I can't stand tobacco smoke, and last night he came here smoking this big fat stogie. It gave off a hideous stench.
I don't like talking about that guy.
Don't look at me. You're the one who brought him up.
Military men bore me. I'm changing the subject.
Well, my ex-boyfriend was a military thug, and he really made me laugh.
Mikhail?
No, Tiru, a hilarious sergeant from India.
I suppose you didn't hear any of those soldiers mention a girlfriend of mine who fell into the lake.
Well, a girl. And here I was thinking you didn't have a girlfriend.
No, she isn't my girlfriend.
You sure? Look straight into my eyes and tell me she's not your girlfriend. Into my eyes, Kaimi. A little bit higher. Higher. There.
She's my cousin.
You lie worse than my ex.
Charlie?
No, Lopati. A gorgeous Polynesian hunk.
She is not my girlfriend.
Well, that's just too bad for her, isn't it? You're a bit of a liar, but an adorable one.
You're wrong. My friend is really a soccer ball, necessary on any worthwhile desert island.
Men. The only time they don't think about balls is when they're playing with them.
Hey, look! It's a cockatoo impaled on a stake.
Talk about getting off topic.
Let's talk about something else.
All right, if that's the best you can come up with.
It doesn't seem like you have much work.
Well, before the military got here, my boss didn't give me a moment of tropical island peace. Wait on the bar, go down to the storeroom, clean up the photo stand, shoo those lemurs off the bucking bronco, put on a skimpier outfit.
Sounds like you have a great boss. Huh.
If only you knew. Once I thought it might be nice to set out some trays of fresh coconut, and he said, I don't pay you to think. If I get so bold as to give a free drink to a customer, he threatens to fire me, because he's the biggest skinflint in the Pacific. And on top of that, when the soldiers came, he ran off like a sissy, but told me that if I closed up shop, he'd fire me.
What was it you said about a bunch of lemurs?
I know it sounds weird, but a few years ago, a Japanese boat full of giant lemurs sunk nearby. It was headed for New York. Anyway, the lemurs swam to shore and took over the beach. You can't imagine what luscious they were. If I turned my back for a second, they'd rip off all the booze. They were bombed day and night, destroying everything they got their little prehensile paws on, until we managed to run them into the jungle on the other side of the island.
Well, I suppose this bar isn't exactly the workplace of your dreams, is it?
Don't be so sure. I've had worse jobs. I even worked in Hollywood as a makeup artist. It sounds all glamorous at first, but when you have to turn 3,000 midgets into extraterrestrials, all the glitz and bling-bling starts to fade.
So how did you manage to find work in Hollywood?
You know, the same way everyone gets a break in the movie world.
Maybe you should save it for another time. There may be minors reading this.
What a dirty little mind you have. I got my break thanks to my mom, who was a makeup artist. She would take me to film shoots before I learned to walk.
Oh, doing movie makeup must be a hard job.
Not really. Maybe it used to be. But ever since they came out with Grease Paint Pro, you can make your grandma look like a star, as the slogan says.
What is that Grease Paint Pro thing?
It's the computer software we movie makeup artists use. You can scan a picture of the character you want to create, another of the person you're making over, and in a few seconds it gives you a range of makeup options. Along with the list of the products you'll need, the features you should accentuate or cover up. To put it simply, it's a very expensive wonder program that only big production companies can afford.
But with Grease Paint Pro alone, it's not enough, is it? I bet it's useless without your talent.
They're all essential. The computer, the talent, the scanner, the printer, and of course, the makeup products. I don't mean to brag, but I have them all. The great thing about having a computer geek as a boyfriend is that he can set up a home machine for you that's better than the ones most professionals use.
I don't mean to butt into your business, but are you talking about Mikhail?
No, Koji-san, this guy from Tokyo.
What were we chatting about?
All you men are the same. You're so busy looking at our cleavage, you can't pay attention to what we're saying. So it makes no difference. We can talk about whatever you wish.
Did you work on any famous films?
I wouldn't know. I never go to the movies. I mainly worked in horror movies until I met this director. We started going out, and he hired me to do 3 movies all at the same time.
You don't say. I bet his name was Andy. Or maybe it was Larry.
You're a really bad guesser. Anyway, his name was Peter. He made films in Australia, or did something down under.
I tutaj zrobimy sobie kolejne cięcie, ponieważ pojawia się 5. już ciekawostka. Mianowicie tutaj Lokelani wspomina o swoim byłym chłopaku i tutaj jest nawiązanie do Petera Jacksona, który w Nowej Zelandii w swojej ojczyźnie kręcił równolegle 3 części do Władcy Pierścieni. Ale dobra, wracamy do rozgrywki.
You don't look like a makeup artist. Or a waitress, for that matter.
I'm not sure if I want to know what you see me as.
I'm gonna take a stroll. See ya later on.
I tutaj po dość długiej i obszernej konwersacji wracamy do rozgrywki właściwej. Musimy się troszeczkę tu rozejrzeć, ponieważ obiekt, który nas interesuje, znajduje się na ziemi, dokładnie po prawej stronie Briana. Jest to popielniczka, tak więc obejrzyjmy ją sobie.
It's full of sand, ash, cigarette butts, and that looks like a cigar holder.
Tak, w popielniczce znajduje się cygarnica, zabierzmy ją.
I bet I can find some use for that. If I remember right, that's the brand Kortsmeyer smokes.
Kolejny przedmiot, który powinien tutaj wzbudzić nasze zainteresowanie, jest to ta tablica stojąca na barze, tak więc spójrzmy sobie na nią, przeczytajmy.
Special cocktails for $5.
O ile napis na tablicy nie jest wartościowy, o tyle sama tablica już tak więc spróbujmy ją zabrać.
Sure, why not? Look, Ilani, could I borrow your chalkboard?
Go ahead. Nobody's ordering any cocktails around here anymore.
It comes with chalk, too.
No i proszę, wraz z tablicą zyskaliśmy również kredę, natomiast teraz spójrzmy sobie na to pyskate ptaszysko.
What an unpleasant winged rat. Despite its bad temper, I bet it's got a bigger brain than some people I know. I'll try to win over its trust, and then maybe it'll leave me alone. Hello, my pretty. What in the world did I do to deserve such hatred? Let's drop it. It's not worth it.
I to by było na tyle, jeżeli chodzi o tą lokację w tym momencie. Na razie nic już więcej tutaj nie zrobimy, tak więc opuścimy sobie teraz bar i udamy się w stronę tego wielkiego budynku z czerwonym czy też różowym dachem. Tutaj w zależności od tego, z której strony tego budynku podejdziemy, to znajdziemy się w innej lokacji. Ja na początek pozwolę sobie podejść bardziej z lewej strony. I tutaj powinniśmy trafić do lokacji z piwnicą. Tak, jak widzicie, mamy tutaj jakieś wejście, które jest zablokowane deską, tak więc przyjrzyjmy mu się bliżej.
It keeps the doors from being open.
Dobra, teraz spróbujmy sobie zdjąć tą blokadę.
Impossible. Just by looking, I can see the wood is too thick.
Póki co nie jesteśmy w stanie otworzyć tego wejścia naszymi gołymi rękami, tak więc zainteresujmy się teraz kontenerem po naszej lewej stronie.
From the look of those stains, it must form part of more than one dog's territory.
Tak, niemniej jednak spróbujmy sobie otworzyć kontener.
I'm not exactly dying to open it, but let's see what's inside. I hope it smells better inside than outside. Bags of trash, old newspapers. Ooh, this could be totally usable. Almost a whole stick of butter. And no, nothing else in there looks recyclable, at least for now.
W kontenerze udało nam się znaleźć, kostkę masła. O dziwo, ta kostka jest kostką, czyli jeszcze zachowuje swój kształt w tej temperaturze, co jest dosyć dziwne. Nie wiem, czy kojarzycie, podobnie było w pierwszej części Runawaya, kiedy wyjęliśmy masło z lodówki w autobusie transwestytów. Ono również wtedy było w kostce i pomimo, że nosiliśmy je w kieszeni, to ono się nie rozpuszczało. To było dosyć ciekawe. Natomiast teraz już przejdziemy sobie z drugiej strony tego budynku. Dokładnie przejdziemy do miejsca dla zwiedzających, tak więc udajmy się dokładnie w tym kierunku.
I couldn't get in. The door is locked with several chains and padlocks.
Drzwi są zamknięte i raczej się tam teraz nie dostaniemy, tak więc cóż, trzeba będzie kontynuować eksplorację w innym miejscu. Natomiast to już zrobimy sobie w ramach kolejnego odcinka. Na dziś to będzie już tyle. Mam nadzieję, że odcinek Wam się podobał, że całą serię będzie Wam się oglądać bardzo przyjemnie. Oczywiście zapraszam Was do kolejnego odcinka, a tymczasem cóż, żegnam się już z Wami, tak więc trzymajcie się. Hej!